On everybody, thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I am your host, Jimmy Smith, and I hope you're all having yourselves a great Thursday. I'm here in my office. It is completely torn apart. Got a bunch of random stuff in here, but we're back in here. I don't have my damn headphones or my Ethernet cable. Can't find the one damn piece, so we're here. We're closer to the internet box, so hopefully not as laggy. Got some videos, got some tweets from the day that I'm going to show you. So we're going to go over, talk about day 5 of training camp. So for all you sickos out there, appreciate you taking the time, whether you're watching this live, watching this later. I cannot thank you enough for all of the support. Saw some of you earlier in the chats. Let's go. You know, getting excited. The season is getting closer and closer, 38 days away from game 1, but got a little preseason action tonight. And then the first game on the 12th of August. Holy hell, let's go. I cannot stress enough how exciting that is to be about 9 days away there. So, yeah, let's go. But we're going to talk about what was seen today by the reporters. Going to show you some of the videos. I got a few of those. Going to take myself off and then just show you the videos. Then we'll talk about them afterwards. Don't want any lagging or anything like that. Want you guys to get the full effect here. But let's effing go. Whether you're watching this live, watching this later, love to hear your thoughts on this. Hope you're all feeling as excited as I am as this season gets closer. Oh, I'm seeing all the hate in all these chats. I'm loving every second of it. They're scared, and I do not blame each and every one of them because their teams are about to get that ass whooped. So let's go. Another sicko in the building. Wheels, my dude. Appreciate you taking the time. Hope you're doing well. Saw you in that chat earlier. My man Tone in here. Let's go. Nice to see you, dude. Hope all is well. And hey, I appreciate you guys when you make it live. Appreciate you when you're not live. Whenever it is, whenever you're taking the time, I appreciate you. So, Twisted, my dude. Hope you're doing well. Cannot thank you all enough. Let's effing go Birds, baby. You know it. So let's start this bad boy off. And today we talked to Sirianni. They talked to Sirianni, not I, not yet, but they got to talk to him. We're going to talk about what's going on there. Appreciate you making this live one, my man. And throughout the season, you'll get some earlier videos, things like that. I'm going to try to make a set schedule for this season with all those injury reports, roster breakdowns each week that I do for the opponents. We get to know everything about the opponent, everything going on with the Eagles, all the injuries. For those of you who have been tuning in, you know how it goes each day, providing you with information to get you ready for game day. But we're going to keep adding to it, making it better and better. But appreciate whenever you guys can catch it. So I really can't thank you enough. But let's start it off talking about, and yeah, man, they're definitely fearful. And again, I do not blame them. But let's talk about our coach right here, Mr. Nick Sirianni. So they got to speak with him. I took a few of the tweets there you could see, but I also took some notes while listening to him this morning. Talked about how he valued the relationship with his coaches, being there in the rooms. Talked about Brian Johnson. He has been in those rooms. That's something that can help him. And I think he knows, his coaches. That's why he's given him the opportunity. Very excited about that. Talked about Hurst's consistency. Talked about that vertical play to A.J. Brown. Everybody saw that. He's just been looking better and better. Just explaining how and why we do things. That's a daily thing. Just continued improvement, man. 1% better every day. Love that dude. Love Coach Sirianni. He talked about missing Gannon and Steichen. Nobody misses Gannon. Don't lie. Do not lie. We've got the much better version of this defense in Sean Desai. So excitement there. But just talking about being physical, all those things. But you could see a few of the things I pointed out. Marcus Mariota. We'll talk about this in a little bit. Learning this new system. People getting caught up. It's training camp, interceptions. I don't care if the Eagles quarterbacks, what quarterbacks, it's training camp. This is a time for you to learn and get through those things. We've been talking about that. Take it all with a grain of salt. Then you see talking about DeAndre Swift. Looks like a wide receiver out there. That's something I've been stressing for the last month. This running back attack and what they're going to add to the passing attack. Oh my God. I love every second of this training camp because we've been getting to see everything that we talked about these last couple of months, and it's got me excited. And then the last thing you can see, there's a spot open, and he's in the mix for that. Kayvon Wallace getting some first-team reps, and we've been, talking about that since he got those the other day. He needs to step it up here. They brought in former second-round pick Justin Evans. Obviously, we drafted Sidney Brown, and you signed Terrell Edmonds. So you got Edmonds and Blankenship, presumed starters, but Sidney Brown, again, will be the eventual starter. I think there's a place for him regardless if he's a starter or not. He's such a weapon. But looking at Kayvon Wallace, Justin Evans, and then you bring in the young man, Tristan McCollum. There's a lot of competition there. So I'm really excited about that, but he brought it up. Kayvon's getting his opportunity here. He looked good at the end of last year, has looked good in camp. So go get yours, man. May the best men win here in these training camp battles. Last night I gave you my top 15. So go check those out, and you can see, who I've got as the top battles here. Kayvon Wallace, who they want and start. Well, I don't think they want him there, but they want him to show that he could, if something were to happen, step in. If something happens, Justin Evans has starting experience. So Kayvon Wallace needs to prove I can do the same damn thing. And he proved that a little bit last year. So look, man, if they want him to be the backup, I'm not against it. If he bests Justin Evans, it may the best man win. But the top three, we already know who they are. Edmonds, Blankenship, Sidney Brown. That, to me, is what's going on. Kayvon Wallace is getting those reps so he can prove that he has some worth here because there is competition at that safety position, and I love every second of that. So I'm all about it. Whoever wants to win, go get yourself a job, Kayvon. If that's you, let's go. Justin Evans has an injury history. A lot of talent, but a lot of injury history. So, hey, man, may the best man win. So let me take myself off here for a second, and let me show you guys some of the clips from throughout the day. First, you're going to see Sean Bradley getting excited, so cover your ears if you do not like screaming. If you don't, I highly doubt you watch his show, so I apologize. I know some people get upset about that, but sorry, dude. I'm a diehard Eagles fan. I'm a little crazy. That's just the way it goes. Then you're going to see Kenny Gainwell catching some balls. I'll show you A.J. Brown getting some returns here. Is that for fun or is it for real? I think just for fun, but we'll throw that out there. I will also show you some of the wide receivers and cornerbacks getting some work, and then a certain player staying after practice to get some extra reps. You love to see every second of that. I'll be back in a minute.
Wake up! Okay. See if I have a player. Yeah, usually, like, good for us, like, let us know, like, a day ahead of time. Okay. If the players like to have it on their radar, I get it. So we're not, like,
we're with some of those highlights from throughout the day, just some of the videos I saw there, wanted to throw your way. So, look, they limit what you're allowed to record and the things you're allowed to do there. So I really think, you got to take this all with a grain of salt, the things you see, the things you hear. So, look, just get excited. Eagles are right around the corner. That's what this is all about. Just looking at the little things, hoping that you stay healthy. So good to see that. Jalen Carter continues to dominate every single day. Love to see that. So, yeah, he's just been dominant, and he's going to dominate in the league. Nolan Smith, he will more than earn a spot, my man. We talked about this, extensively here on this show the past couple of months. I feel he's going to be an edge rusher. I think they'll use him a little bit off ball, stack linebacker, which we will get to talk about here shortly. Literally go watch the show from last night where I bring all these things back up again, and they, happened today. So let's go, baby. We're going to keep throwing it out in the universe. Hope they keep picking it up. But big things coming from that first-round pick, my man. So, look, I knew what you were saying. It's all good. But let's take a look at some of the tweets from throughout the day, and then we'll be able to talk about some of the things you have mentioned here. And then I'm going to touch up on some of the players that we heard from: Christian Elliss, Nicholas Morrow, Marcus Mariota, and Jalen Hurts. We'll talk about what they had to say. So you saw what Sirianni started off with. Now let's talk a little bit about what he said about Jalen Hurts, who, oh boy, I really cannot wait to see what he does in his fourth season here, third as the starter. But he talked about his consistency. This is something I've mentioned for a few years now. He just continues to grind, stays consistent, trying to get better every single day. Sirianni talked about him being a coach on the field, says their conversations get deeper and deeper about the why of the offense, says Jalen continues to improve, and the main thing he sees is consistency. So that word, consistent, that's what we're looking for. And look, we want him to just continue to get 1% better every single day. MVP runner-up for a guy that, they said couldn't develop, could never do this, that. Well, this dude's about to prove all of the haters wrong, and I'm going to enjoy every single minute, every damn season of it. Let those haters bend the knee. Now let's get into practice here. Injury report is the same as last time. Deion Kane out with an ankle injury. Not boding well for him. Ooh, look, this dude did great last year, and I think, had a chance to make the team. He's got some return capability, went to the USFL, had a couple of returns for a touchdown, so that's great. But this is a loaded wide receiver room. Go check that video out from last night. I'll post it in the comments, but you can see the top 15 battles. And look, he's going to push as a return man too, but there are other guys that can help us in the return game, so better bring it all to the table. Now you can see limited, the three guys that have been the last couple of practices: Barnett, Maddox, and Reddick. Now, Barnett and Maddox have been the entire time limited. Reddick was out the first couple of practices, but keeping these guys, we're being safe with three pieces that, have important roles, even if Derek Barnett is that fifth edge rusher. Look, that's great to have a former first-round pick who obviously didn't live up to that first-round pick, but if he can provide you some depth there, I am all about it. Now at right guard, starting today again, Cam Jurgens. And look, we talked about this a million times. I think Tyler Steen is the future at right guard. Whenever he takes that job is fine with me, because whether it's Cam or whether it's Tyler starting at that right guard position, they are the best offensive line in the game, and they are surrounded by two Hall of Famers, whoever it will be. So Kelsey, Lane, they will be able to help, whether it's Cam or Tyler. Excited to see how this goes, but Cam Jurgens getting that start at right guard again today. Now, one of the things I've been stressing over and over again was what Rashad Penny was able to do in San Diego State. Sure, years ago. And since his time in the NFL, he has not gotten return work because I think he's such a good running back. But with this running back room being so loaded, I would love to see Rashad Penny back there over Boston Scott. You guys that tune in know I have been stressing this over and over again. And today we get our wish. So I got a few wishes granted today, and Rashad Penny was back there getting some kick returns. So excited to see how he does. Maybe toss him back there in the preseason. Would love to see him back there. All of these backs getting work, not just in the run game, but the passing game, special teams. Let's go, baby. Very, very excited. Now, a little bit of concerning news at first. Nakobe Dean starting off practice going into the tent, and he was watching practice, but someone from the Eagles said that he was fine. But he was in there for a minute, so a little concerning. But he was chatting with Howie, but he did not compete then. He was just watching practice. So you got to be safe in these times. Hopefully it was just something minor, and they're just being precautious. But Morrow and Elliss were able to step in as the first-team linebacker. So, yesterday or the other day, the last practice, we got Christian Elliss as first-string linebacker, baby. That's something I talked about, my number one battle this offseason. Those two guys right there, Morrow and Elliss. So going to see who wants to be the guy next to Nakobe Dean. Hopefully Dean can stay healthy, but also mentioned if they want to go ahead and trade for someone like a Patrick Queen, Devin White, I'm not against that. So we'll see what they do there, but excited to watch this competition throughout camp and the preseason. May the best man win, but this is not to say that Morrow I don't think is good. I just think Elliss I think he's been slept on. Finally, the media and fans know who he is, and I can no longer say he's being slept on, but you guys know that have been following me. I've been stressing this point for a while now. Love to see people catching on to this. This kid, a lot of talent here. And Morrow, yes, an ex-safety with athleticism that can cover, but so can Christian Elliss. He can stop the run. So had a good day last practice at that first team. Got a forced fumble, knocked the ball out. I thought he did some really good things. And look, I'm going to continue to stress this as my number one battle. So love to see that. Now, one of the battles I don't care about is running back because, as I just mentioned, they all bring something to the table, and I'm excited to see the top three backs go get some. And I'm also excited about the back end. Trey Sermon, Boston Scott, who wants to step it up. But Stout was ecstatic after Kenny Gainwell hits the hole hard with balance and low pad level during 11-on-11s. Sirianni gives Gainwell and the entire O-line kudos, too, after offense gets off to a nice early start. So keep talking about Penny and Swift and how big of a role they're going to have, but I always stress, do not sleep on Kenny G. He will still have a role, still be a big part of this offense. Excited to see what he can do. Now up next, a little bit more Jalen Hurts action. And this dude been killing it. But again, it's the offseason. Take it all with a grain of salt. But this is obviously, we talked about last year, back-to-back years in the same system. Now he gets a third year. He hadn't had back-to-back years since high school. So I'm excited to see what he's learned and how he grows now. I'll be real with you. I'm old as hell, and I do not know who the hell Key Glock is. But Jalen Hurts opens up 7-on-7 period with arcing throw across the middle to Tyree Jackson, who made a nifty snag in traffic. Hurts is on fire, 6 for 6 to start her off. So love that. Tyree Jackson, again, he's a freak athlete, 6'7", but can he stay healthy? Can he prove he deserves to be on this team? I know he's got a lot of talent, but there is a lot of talent in that tight end room. Go check out those top 15 battles. Now, up next, we got Swift. So keep talking about these running backs because my excitement is truly through the roof. Now, remember I made that video laughing at PFF when they said the Eagles didn't have a top 10 running back corp as a whole. Laughable. I think they will be top 3. So you can see Hurts celebrates with Swift at the end of 7-on-7. During one of his 6 completions, Hurts went through multiple reads before connecting with Swift on a wheel route up the right sideline. Now, go check out that video. I'll post that in the comments as well. But I've told you how much I believe that this is going to be a big part of this offense now. Jalen Hurts was last in the league in checkdowns last year. Sure, a lot because of his feet, a lot because we have great receivers, but I think, you're going to see this actually implemented into the offense, not just checking down, but actually throwing to the running backs because of design. So very excited about this. Love to see it going well so far. These guys, just starting off together. So great to see how things are going. Now, you saw Kaylee Ringo staying extra after practice there. Love it. So this young man, bright future ahead. Hopeful replacement to Slay or Bradbury. I've heard a lot of people saying, that he's getting moved to safety. I have not heard anything like that. He's a versatile kid. I don't see why you couldn't try that out, but I have not heard them doing that. They really like him as a corner. So he's going to keep doing his thing. Had a nice PBU against Devontae Smith. That's a pretty effing good wide receiver to go up against. So stuck with him, broke it up near the goal line. Love to see that. Now, we talked about Steen earlier with Juergens at right guard. Steen got second team reps with left tackle. Another thing we talked about the other day because, look, this kid, if he's not starting, he provides you value. And if he can be value, that helps you as a tackle and guard, give me a hell yeah. All about it. Talked about how much Stout loved this kid, why we drafted him. Bright future ahead for him. let's effing go. Now up next, my man Sweaty J coming in and destroying lives, which he's continued to do throughout training camp. As always, this dude is one of the most underrated edge rushers. Love him. Can't wait to see what he does this year. He and Reddick. Then, of course, behind him, Nolan Smith and Brandon Graham, Derek Barnett, whoever else wants to make this team. But love to see Sweat getting his. Now, I mentioned Nolan Smith, my guy. Now, surprised to see EJ surprised by this because, well, this is something I've been bringing up to you guys for a couple months now. Off-ball linebacker, baby. Stacked linebacker. This is the kind of guy, Micah Parsons, how he's used in Dallas. The skill set Nolan Smith has, the speed, the coverage ability, the run stopping, everything he can do. So he was getting first-team reps with those stacked linebackers, those off-ball guys. And again, keep in mind, Nakobe was banged up, but this is effing awesome, and this is exactly what we talked about when we drafted him. I think that this young man, look, he doesn't have to be called a starter. He's going to get his reps. He will have snaps, and he will feast. Go get yourself some young man. And now, All-Pro James Bradbury continues to shine. Apparently, this graphic saved all jacked up. Thank you for that. No clue why I did that, but he was banged up. That's what it says behind that. And he got back. I have no idea why it didn't. I cropped that, and then it apparently went back to before it was cropped. So I cannot read that. The screen is very small to me, but Bradbury looked like he was good to go. I remember that he came back, so nothing to worry about there. But he continues to dominate this camp. So just stay healthy, and we'll have the best trio in the NFL at cornerback. Patrick Johnson continues to shine in camp, and told you it's going to be hard to keep him off this roster. We are loaded at edge rusher, but this dude, he's going to fight for a job. We talked about Kyron Johnson there as well, but he brings a different skill set. He's somebody just like Nolan Smith who can play a little bit of off-ball stacked linebacker as well. So great competition at edge rusher. I'm telling you, go check out that Top 15 Battle Show. It is loaded with competition here at camp for you to get excited about. And one of those positions, safety. Now, if you guys tuned in before the draft, you know how adamant I was about getting Sidney Brown, his skill set, how he would fit, what Sean Desai is doing here. And today, he gets those first team reps with Reed Blankenship. So excitement to go around, ladies and gentlemen. You know I love this kid and cannot wait to see. Do not care when he gets that start. I just think that he has a very bright future ahead for the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, the final tweet I have for the day, Milton Williams. Someone asked me about him last night. This dude's going to have a huge role on defense, that interior defensive line. With Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, and Fletcher Cox, the veteran there, to help these young men grow into the best interior defensive line in the game. I can't stress enough. And you see Josh here, echoing what I've been saying for a while now. I think this is the season where you see him coming out and destroying lives. I'm excited about it. I hope you're excited about it. The offense, defense, looking great. And look, take it all with a grain of salt, whether it's good, bad. This is training camp. This is the time to iron out those wrinkles, figure things out. So I'm not worried about, stupid things. So all about it, man. Ready to rock and roll, but we're going to talk about these notes I have here from these guys speaking after the press conference. Love to hear your thoughts, though, how you feel about this team so far, whatever's on your mind. But I can't wait for the haters. Oh, they will, my man. They definitely will, and I can't wait to enjoy every second of it. And, yes, I will ask you for that at the end, but appreciate you, my man. If he could, he's got a lot of talent. That converted quarterback to tight end. Been looking good last couple of years, but staying healthy is his issue. So we will see if he can do that and prove that he deserves a role here. But a lot of competition there with Calcaterra, Stoll, and Arnold in front of him. Then you got Brady Russell. So a lot of competition. But they talked to some players, and one of those players, my guy, Christian Elliss, we've talked about my number one competition here, the battle that I see the most fun from. And look, he didn't have too much to say, but they talked about he has room to grow, talked about one day at a time, just training, getting better. He enjoyed this offseason, a little bit more comfortable, having that time in this system. And again, Sean Desai is definitely a different system, but a lot of the same stuff going on. But he's finding more clarity on defense rather than just being a special teamer. Talked about his brother, who we called Fooey, his middle name, but that's Noah Elliss, the nose tackle here, who was hurt last year, but will get an opportunity to try to make it in that stacked interior defensive line. We'll see how that goes. But Christian, man, seemed like a real humble, nice young man. Excited to watch his game continue and watch him grow and hopefully, continue to find a role on this defense. Up next, they talked to Marcus Mariota. And, dude, he talked about how much fun he's having, a great group. He's trying to connect with these guys. They're all competing. Talked about this being the 8th system he's learned in 9 years. Holy crap. I know a lot of people getting worked up about him throwing interceptions. Not worried about it. This is that time to iron out those wrinkles. Talked about learning and sharing with Jalen Hurts. And it was really cool to hear him saying, like, I can learn from Jalen Hurts. So, like, it's just nuts how much of just an impact this dude has on people. And this is what we tried to talk about for a few years now, dude. So love to see other people seeing it, talking about it, sharing it. And it just last year, all the hate was unbearable. It really was. So love to see all this love being shared this year. Number 1 selling jersey. How far we've come, baby. Got him. But talked about Hurts being incredible. He talked about this offense. The progressions are a little different, things like that. Just it's football, man. How much different can you be? But he talked about Hurts being an incredible athlete, how accurate he is, how he creates plays with his feet. Talked about he wants to make the team better, be the best teammate he can be. Talked about Hurts again. They kept asking him questions there. Being an old soul, a hard worker. We all know that. Well, people know that now, but you guys that have been tuning in, I had his trainer on, his chef. Talked about all the dude is just awesome. How you couldn't be rooting for him the last few years, I had no idea, but it's awesome to watch people finally root for him because he's the effing man. QB1, him. So excited to see the future here. Glad people are on board with that. We talked about Brian Johnson playing to everybody's strengths, the communication with players. Talked about his career, having perspective now. Talked about how awesome the fans are. He loves the grit, the blue-collar city. He comes from Hawaii, so it's much different. So pretty cool for him. It was cool to hear from him. He talked about Netflix. He hasn't gotten to watch it. He doesn't really like to watch himself, he said, but said it was cool to, tell his story, be part of that. So pretty neat there. But Mariota, I think, an upgrade over Minshew. Excited to have him here and excited to watch this quarterback room grow. Then they talked to Nicholas Morrow. So back to another linebacker. Talked about learning the techniques in this defense, being on the same page with Nakobe. Talked about Elliss playing well against the pass, the run. He brought up that forced fumble. He also brought up 1% better every day, so he's already learning that. Love it. He talked about Desai. They asked him about him. He said it's pretty much a match zone defense, which we all know, and I broke down. If you guys missed that defensive video, go check it out. We talked about Desai's defense there. He's a former safety. They asked him about how he does in coverage. He's like, well, I'm a former safety. So, yeah, he can do that stuff, something I mentioned earlier. He likes the training camp schedule, as do I. We talked about staying healthy. As long as everyone's healthy, I'm good with it. Past couple of years, they have been. Talked about how good our backs are, those scat backs, the guys that, dude, are just so elusive. He brought up DeAndre Swift in space. Then he said, Boston Scott, Kenny Gainwell, I could go down the line. And yes, we could go down the line because those running backs get me effing excited. He talked about the scheme, how it works, and just how excited he is. And I'm quite excited about this defense. So, again, may the best man win out of those linebackers. Excitement. But then we heard from one last player. Oh, yeah, that's right. QBF1, Jalen Hurts himself. Always nice to hear from him. So let's talk a little bit about what he had to say. What is going on? My man Mitch in the building. Yo, dude, hope you're doing well. Nice to see you in here. Let's effing go Birds, baby. But going over the training camp notes, talking about what went down today. We already showed the highlights. Talked about the tweets from the day, but now just talking about the presser notes. Hope you're doing well, my man. Hope you're ready for some Eagles effing football. But Hurts had to talk about consistency. Well, what did we talk about at the beginning of this show? Love it. That's the goal, man. Staying consistent, learning, and growing. Talked about, they asked him about the phone, his background again. And he said, he didn't want to talk about it. It's no one's business. And if it were up to him, no one would know about it. So you could tell he was kind of like pissed off about it. It's like, all right, dude, like stop asking the same questions, especially ones that he obviously doesn't want to answer. I can't stand it sometimes, always trying to be so effing negative, but it is what it is. He talked about it being a day-by-day journey, treating practice as if it were a game. Talked about it being his 4th year. It's different for him because, well, he's never had a 4th year. So love it. He probably did in high school. But anyways, change of time. He talked about just, he's so hilarious with his words, but he talked about, the standard is the standard. No matter how much time changes or certain circumstances change, the standard is always the standard. That does not change. And he's hilarious, man. But a youthful mindset with these quarterbacks he talked about, they're all growing together. We brought up McKee being from Stanford, a former Heisman, in Mariota, talked about Book from Notre Dame. So he said a lot of personalities, a lot of room for them all to grow. Talked about there being urgency there, but just it's one day at a time, but they know what the goal is. And I love all of that. Uses Desai for philosophical beliefs, something he used to do with Gannon, going to him, just picking his brain, trying to see what he sees as a defense. And oh yeah, I love every second of that. And, something I've stressed the past few years here about Hurts, just his drive to be better and learn everything he can to make himself better. So love it, love it, love it. Talked about looking forward to the open practice, how they sung. We all sang happy birthday to him last year. That was pretty beautiful. But he talked about AJ being a competitor, special talent, works hard, physical specimen. He just continues to grow. We all know that. Love to see that relationship growing. And they just talked about being a sponge in that quarterback room. And, well, I can't stress enough how excited I am about that. So he gets to learn from Mariota. Mariota had said how he gets to learn from Hurts. So a lot of excitement to be had here. Hope you're all getting ready for this football season. But that's all I've got for you today here. What the hell just happened there? But if you have any questions, any comments, you're watching this later, you just want to talk some birds, leave it down below in the comments. Truly appreciate each and every one of you taking the time, whenever the hell that is. But if you got anything from this video, do me a favor, hit that like button down below. You can always subscribe to the channel. I can't thank you enough for all the things you guys do to support this channel. But if anything happens, I was planning maybe, I got a lot to do here, man. This room's torn apart. You can see some of the plastic already laid. I got some lawn work, a lot of things to do. So I'm not sure if I'll be back tonight. If not, it'll be tomorrow. We'll be going. It'll be the first back-to-back practice we have. So I will be breaking down day 6 of practice tomorrow around the same time. So hope to see you then. If not, I do have a certain trade candidate you've been asking me about. I'm going to show you the money. So whenever it may be, I hope to see you then. Liz, let's go. Just rolling out here, but appreciate you taking the time. If you rewatch, love to hear from you, how you're feeling about this training camp so far. But Wheels, my man, Liz, Mitch, Unspoken, all of you that tuned in today, Drew, all of you, cannot thank you enough. Anybody I missed, I'm just a drifter. Atlantadelphia, Tone was in here. Cannot thank you all enough for taking that time. But I hope you all enjoyed. Until next time, I am Jimmy Smith, and this is On the Road to Victory. You all have yourselves a great Thursday. Stay safe out there. And as always, say it with me now. Go Birds!